Hi! Wanna be in the video too? So, hi guys! If you followed my channel recently, I have a newborn and a nosy dog, and we're going to be talking about my postpartum recovery and also how baby Jack has been doing. So it's going to be a double-sided update. Mustache, go over there. So the first part of this video is going to be about me and how I've been recovering the past 2 weeks, and then we're going to be talking about Jack and I guess a little bit about little Mustache too, as like a little family update. So on September 2nd, I gave birth to Jack. He is 19 inches. He was born 6 pounds, 15 ounces, and it was a very interesting labor. You can check out my labor and delivery story. I'll have it linked here so that you can check that out first if you want to get a little bit of background. So, as you know from my labor story, I did need stitches in the nether region because I teared a lot, apparently. I think it might, I don't know exactly, I think it was classified as a 3rd degree tear. I don't know. But basically, it wasn't only my vaginal area that ripped in labor and had to be stitched together. And obviously, if you're watching this, there's very TMI in this. I feel like the barrier of privacy is just like gone, because like in those days that I was in labor and in the hospital and then coming back, everyone's known my business for like, so I feel like no problem kind of like sharing the physical parts of things. So it's kind of funny, you just kind of just forget all of that and everybody knows everything. So it wasn't just my vaginal area that was torn, it was also the area in between my vagina and my butt. So I think it's called the perineal, I don't know exactly, I don't remember what that term is called, but the area in between, that ripped also, and that had to be stitched. So sitting down had been very, very uncomfortable. I had, my mom bought me one of those pillows. You're just making a show. His shirt says Captain Adorable. I think it's very fitting. But, so I had basically like a special pillow for my butt that had like a donut hole in the middle. And it made it a lot more comfortable to sit down, and I kind of carried that around with me everywhere. Not that I was really going anywhere, because I've basically been stuck in this house. I've left a few times to do errands when my mom has come over to watch Jack, but I can't drive, so I can't go anywhere by myself. I mean, I can drive, I have a license, but it's recommended that you not drive for a certain amount of weeks. It depends on what your doctor says. So that was very uncomfortable, but thankfully a lot of the stitches have already dissolved or absorbed. I don't know. It's one of the stitches that kind of just disappears. So a lot of the stitches are already healed, but there's still a few very sensitive spots, and going to the bathroom is still not very comfortable, but it's almost normal. Well, I wouldn't say almost normal. I'd say I'm like 70% recovered down there. So that's good. I'm glad that that's healing quickly, because it was definitely the part that I was the most worried about, is how that area is going to be. I'm no longer bleeding, which is good. I stopped bleeding very close to 2 weeks. It was like maybe like a week and like 5 days is when I stopped bleeding, and I was so glad, because the actual pads that I was using were giving me rashes. I have very sensitive skin, and just a lot of things upsets my skin, and it looks like he's gonna have very sensitive skin too, so we'll have to see about that. Oh, you're farting. Good job. You get proud of the weirdest things when you become a mom, because I'm very proud that he's farting right now, because he's been in a lot of discomfort. But we'll talk about that in a minute, like you little pterodactyl. Am I recording? I really hope I am. That physical part is doing fairly well. As for my weight gain, as you guys know, I gained 36 pounds. I'm already down by 23, and it's only been 2 weeks. So 2 weeks and 2 days. So I can't take credit for that 23-pound weight loss, because my body just did it. I didn't ask it to, it just kind of just did. And I'm very glad that it did. The first week I lost 10, and then the second week I lost the 13. And it's just from, you know, the changes in my body, my uterus shrinking. He the 6-7 pounds that he was is no longer in there. And then also breastfeeding, just everything kind of just squished me back together. So now I have 12 pounds, I believe, left to lose before I'm back to my pre-pregnancy weight. And I would like to go maybe even a little smaller than that, because actually I was heavier than I typically was right before I got pregnant. So I was a little heavier than usual because I had stopped exercising out of stress, even though you really should continue to exercise when you're stressed. But I'm very excited for when I can actually start exercising again, because I really want to get back to running. I miss running so much. That would just be great. I would really like to run. But we'll see when I'm cleared for that from my doctor. And as for breastfeeding, I guess that will be the last. That and emotionally. Emotionally, it's been difficult, obviously, adjusting to parenting while your hormones are going wow. Like I've had definitely a very I'd say a handful of times, like maybe like 10 instances or something of just like spontaneous crying. I was just like, oh my god, how am I gonna do this? I don't feel like a person. Like I don't know, I was just having like random emotional breakdowns, and they would last for an hour or two, and then I would kind of level out and feel better again, and then, you know, like the next day it would happen once more. So thankfully those have kind of tapered down. I do still have my moments where I'm like, I really need some time to myself, or just kind of where I get down on myself for not being productive, because it's really hard for me to not be productive. I have a real hard time with that, but that's just a me thing, not a normal person thing. So I wouldn't classify it necessarily as the baby blues. I think it really was just a normal fluctuation of my hormones, and I'm thankful that I don't have postpartum depression, at least not yet. You know, sometimes it can kind of vary on the onset, but right now I'm feeling pretty good. I've had those moments, but those moments have been past. So I'm very glad about that, and Chris has been so supportive when those things have happened. I've just been like, I'm having a moment right now, can you please take the baby for a while? And it's not a problem at all, and we're able to switch off. So then as for breastfeeding, I've had a lot of trouble with that. So if you guys have advice, definitely do give me advice. I know that some people find breastfeeding a controversial topic. People can get very heated about it. But if you just give me your opinions or your advice, and everyone be respectful of these pieces of advice, I really appreciate it, because, you know, parenting really does take a village. So I would love to know what you guys think. But I had trouble in the beginning getting him to latch normally. He was kind of just grabbing on the nipple, even though I tried everything that I could to get him to not grab the nipple. So at first it was very painful, and while I did do it for about almost a whole week, even going through that pain and trying to steer him into the right latching techniques, and he just wasn't really having it. We were having some trouble. So I was bleeding through my nipples, and that's definitely not fun. I took a 2-day break for my nipples to heal up, and I ordered a breast pump, and he used formula during those 2 days, and he was fine relatively on formula. I think it might have made him gain weight a little quicker, I'm not sure. It does definitely make him pass out for longer, but overall he's been fine on formula. But I ordered a breast pump, I got the breast pump in, and now since I took those 2-day break, I am not producing enough milk at all. And I do occasionally still do breastfeed him, but mostly I've been trying to pump and then give it to him in a bottle, because he gets confused. Obviously, nipple confusion is a real thing. And ever since I had him on the bottle, and then him going to my breast, he doesn't grab on, in a good way for me, but in a bad way for him. He doesn't grab on as much. He kind of just grazes on the boobs, so he uses my boobs as like a snack. And he doesn't actually like feed for a long period of time on my boobs anymore. Like, if I really try to make it happen, I can make it happen, like with a lot of effort. I can get him to have a full feeding on my breasts, but it just doesn't always work out. So mostly I've been trying to pump, and then also supplement with breastfeeding, supplement with formula. But I can't get enough milk to come out of me. It's just not happening. That 2-day break really screwed it all up. So if you have any suggestions, I've been trying to pump more often to simulate needing more milk, but I'm still getting very little out. And I know there's some supplements that people recommend, so if there's things like that you have any advice on, definitely do let me know, because I do want to breastfeed for as long as possible, and especially since you have the hiccups. Especially since I only have 6 weeks at home, I want to stockpile as much as I can and then, you know, pump at work and things like that so that I can give him at least, like, I don't even know if I can give him a full day of breast milk anymore, but maybe at least half a day on breast milk, half on formula. Like, that would make me really happy if I could do that for as long as possible. So if you guys have any advice on that, definitely do let me know. So now this video is actually already getting kind of long, so I'm going to chop it into half, and in the next part, which I'll put up tomorrow, you can hear all about little Jack's update. So, come here. He has been constipated, so if he's pooping, I'm so happy, because he is not happy when he's constipated. Part 2, you'll find out how little Jack has been handling life at home, and we'll get into that in a moment. So I will see you guys later. Don't forget that kindness is the best accessory. Be the author of your own story. You are in charge of your life, so make sure to take it where you want it to go. And we'll see you very soon. Right? Little hiccuping baby. Yeah, mustache. Bye.